hello, everybody. It's so exciting to see everyone again in what could still be a happy new year, right? We're still like in that in that period of time if we haven't seen each other. And well, Oriana, you and I have seen each other, but everybody else, happy new year. We hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful start of this year. We're so excited to have this Cafecito and Power Break today because we are excited about our topic to get us started. And with me here, we have our special guest today, one of our members, Oriana Falkowski. She is a financial coach, which is critically important in this day and age to have somebody that helps you, right? And she's on a mission to empower people with the tools that will allow them to use money as a vehicle to build the life of their dreams. And I know that I need that we all need to like know how to not be afraid of money and actually use it as a tool, right? And embrace it in a positive way. And when you and I were prepping, for today's cafecito, you sent me three roadblocks. I think there are more than three. I think there are tons of roadblocks that position us, especially as Latinas, to be challenged with a wealth mentality, with a money mindset. But I know that that's your area of expertise. So thank you so much for being with us today and for sharing your knowledge.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be having these conversations. I think that we really need to intentionally talk about these things as Latinas. And like Ileana said, my name is Oriana, and I am an accredited financial counselor. And I founded Money Map Coaching because I fell madly in love with the idea of using money as a tool to build the lives that we want to live. So I focus on working with Latinas like me. We have like worked so hard para echar pa'lante, but sometimes when it comes to our money, we feel like we're not where we want to be. And money work requires a lot of change, and change can be hard. And like Ileana said, when I was prepping for this, I was thinking about what are some of the challenges or some of the roadblocks that sometimes show up, especially as Latinas, and because of everything that we've been through. And I thought of three, but yeah, there's like so many. But the first one that I wanted to talk about is that when we are doing money work, we need to change so many things. So we need to change the way that we think about money. We need to change how we interact with money. Sometimes we need to change like our behaviors around money, our habits. We need to change the systems that we use with money. So it's a lot of change, and change is uncomfortable, right? Very uncomfortable. And sometimes we have a hard time allowing ourselves to like feel that discomfort. So that's one of the roadblocks that I feel comes up when we are doing this work is we are challenged to increase our capacity to feel safe within ourselves so that we can feel all the discomfort and the emotions that come up.
You bring up such an important like just to kick us off in this topic, right? And I think we've built sort of this hesitancy of being or this fear of discomfort, and we we go into our comfort zone, right? Like that's why they say like you need to grow and to do things, you need to move out of your comfort zone. But it's still very hard because being uncomfortable, it's not something that we would like to do, right? However, there are definitely ways to at least be okay with the discomfort of doing that. So what have you found that works, or what can you share?
Okay. Well, because we're talking about money, but this like relates to a lot of like different areas of our lives. But like for me, learning about everything that goes into our relationship with money has been very like liberating. So money is super complicated, and our money stories and our relationship with money is affected by so many factors. A lot of them are outside of our control. A lot of them actually go back to our childhood. So our first like memories around money, what our caretakers told us about money, or modeled for us, right? You know, because sometimes we were told certain things, but then we saw something different. There is culture in there. What does your culture believe about money? Your access to financial literacy. So there's like all these things that we have no control over, and realizing that it's like very freeing. So you can say like, okay, there's like nothing wrong with me. I have been given all of these things, and to me that's very liberating, I guess. Just to feel like it is not my fault. I have not failed. And this is something that it's hard for a lot of people, and it makes a lot of sense that it's hard.
Yes, and I love what you're saying about the relationship, our relationship with money, if it even exists. Because I think in some cases we don't even have a relationship with money, right? It's just like this thing that we urgently need, and it almost feels like it's a fight, right? An internal fight and an external fight that impacts our lives in so many ways. And I like what you're saying about those childhood memories on the one hand because of what we've seen through our parents or through our environments or through our different spaces that we've grown up in, where we learned what we see. So there's that constant fight, the constant need of that's the only money equals happiness. So if I don't have money, then I'm not happy. Like it just starts with that mindset, right? And the other thing that you brought up that I think is critically important is that financial literacy, because as Latinas, many of us we don't even know what that is. Like money was something that you earn on a almost on a daily basis, but how do you invest? What does wealth mean? What's the difference? Like, how do I make it into something that helps me build that life that I want to live versus it's just a transaction that I need so that I can pay the bills and have sort of like that dream life, but we're really not understanding what it means. Um,
Yes, so I think that's like a very important point, is like realizing that a lot of this is just knowledge, but because we have so much shame around it, we make it about like so much more, right? And I think that it is important to realize again that like we are not failing. It's not anything to do with us. It's just systemic too, right? And then what we need to do now is take the steps that we need to take to acquire that knowledge so that we can start taking the actions that will get us there.
Yeah, absolutely. And just having that, that's how you're putting on the chat, like that financial, just feeling that financial safety is huge. But then it sort of counteracts what you're saying, Oriana, about, the shame of then if I don't have financial safety, then that means that I failed, right? And that I'm not good. And then that sort of starts, going to other places of then I'm not good enough. I don't know how, all of these other inner critic moments. But one of the things that I know that you work on and that we do a lot or we do not do enough actually is asking for help, right? And that becomes an issue in itself because we're supposed to be superwoman, right? We're supposed to know all the answers and know everything, because many of us are primary breadwinners, or in a way we are the ones that manage the money in our homes.
Yes.
in some way or form, but then we're supposed to know everything, and the reality is we don't. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, so that's actually another roadblock that I see a lot with my clients, but I actually had to work on that myself as I build my business. I was like very resistant to asking for help because, we are amazing. We are super resourceful and resilient, and we have done a lot of hard work. A lot of us are the first ones in our families to do, a lot of things, go to college. We navigate corporate environments, or even like myself, like get a car. My mom has never had a car, so we are very used to working really hard and figuring everything out. So we expect ourselves to be able to do that for everything. And it's not realistic, So we sometimes associate asking for help or getting help with being weak or not being enough. And the reality is that a lot of people get help for a lot of for a lot of different things, and it is normal to get help for for certain things. So for example, like going to college, like you're getting help from your professors and they are instructing you and giving you resources. But when it comes to certain areas of our lives, we feel like we should for some reason have it like all figured out.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We don't get help enough, and or we don't allow us. But I just find it interesting because every time that I talk to anybody, it's like, what do you do? It's I help others. And that's just like it just makes a short circuit. It's like we all want to help others, but we don't let others help us. So how does that work, right? It's just so how do we start? Yes, okay, I'm ready. I want to get some help, but then what? We're still stuck.
Yeah. Well, so I think that going back to the with the help, I think we need to reframe asking for help as being resourceful, right? So we are using our resources to get the help that we need, get the support that we need. And I also want to point out again, this like feels very very personal. I have been on a journey for the past 2 years where I have really had to be okay with like asking for help, but also believing that I deserve the support. Like I don't have to do it alone. We have done so much by ourselves, and I think we owe it to ourselves to have that support. Like growing and going after your goals doesn't have to be hard. You can do it while you're being supported.
Yes, I love that. I deserve the support. And sort of becomes a mantra, right? Because sometimes we just feel like, that in itself, I think it's so powerful. I love what you're saying, on the chat. Asking for help equals asking for guidance from subject matter experts. Absolutely, we do not have to be experts on everything. That's why we all bring this unique piece of us to the table, right? And that's where spaces like what we're creating at United Latinas is an opportunity for all of us to come together with our little grains. They're not little, they're actually really big grains of expertise and support with each other, so that together we can build, and we can hold each other up, and pull each other. um, but there's still a third roadblock. So what else?
Yes. So the third roadblock that I thought of is that we put things off. We tell ourselves, I'm not ready yet. I will start when the new year, or I will start after things calm down, which I don't know when when that is. Please tell me when things will calm down. Because life is always happening and always changing, but we feel like I'm not ready yet. And I think part of that mentality is that we feel that we need to have everything figured out before we even start. And it doesn't work like that. You actually have to start to get like that ball rolling, right? So if we think about it's snowing outside in Western Mass, so we think about a snowball. A snowball can start little and has the potential of being really big, but you have to put it in motion, right? You have to take that first step of like kicking it down the hill so that it can start going down and get momentum. So yes, like putting it off, waiting until we are ready, is a huge roadblock.
And I think added to that is the we want, or many of us, at least I know I want, because I'm a controller, right? I want to know everything. Like before I even start walking, I want to know the path. I want to know that it's vetted. And to your point, it doesn't work that way. Like we need to allow ourselves to fail. We need to allow ourselves to test. We need to allow ourselves to just start walking, even though we might not know the exact like path or how, but allow to explore, to reach out. And to your point, like we're not alone, but we need to just allow ourselves to do those explorations. And if it didn't work, it's okay. Like nothing happens. You can try again, right? But these failures, it's like, okay, I've been there, done that, tried it, did not work, then I don't want to touch it again ever. And it becomes sort of like this barrier in itself of trying to do new things because it did not work the first time. So I think that that's also very important.
Yes, I love it. I love that point of allowing ourselves to try and fail and try again. Sometimes I hear that a lot with my clients. They're like, "Oh, but I've tried this before, right?" We have all worked really hard to like maybe pay off a debt, and then we like go back to our old patterns, and then we feel like I'm just not good at this. I just, can't get it. But that's where like having that growth mindset comes in, right? And allowing ourselves to like feel that discomfort. Like, yes, I am feeling lost. I don't quite know what I'm doing, but I'm going to like show up and I'm going to take action. I'm going to be gentle with myself, and I will try again if it doesn't work.
Now there are many, because we're about to get to the end, but I want to make sure that there are many different suggestions out there, right? Like right now, I feel like it's flooded of the magic of, bet here and you'll be a millionaire, in 24 hours, and all of these kind of the magic pill kind of thing. What do you suggest in terms of actionable steps that our audience can start to, really do to move this forward, especially as we are starting the year?
Yes. So I love that you brought that up, that, there's so much information out there. If you go on Instagram or TikTok or, all those social medias, there's like 1,000 people talking about like all the things. But one thing that I believe deeply in is that personal finance is personal. And everybody is on a different journey, and we don't know people's like situations. So if I could tell my Latinas out there, one thing is to get familiar with your numbers. Knowing your numbers, knowing how much your life cost is the very basic foundation where you're going to be able to like build everything else. And I want to point out that this is an area where sometimes like people tend to be very judgy with themselves, like, oh, I shouldn't be spending so much money on this. This is not a time for that. This is just, we're just like collecting information, and that is going to be the foundation that we're going to go from. We have to build a foundation before we build the house. So like a lot of the information out there about getting rich quick and all that, that's like later, that's the house, but we need to build a strong foundation. And we I know you're probably going to talk about this, but we are going to get into all of this when I do my workshop, building wealth with confidence in March, and how there are steps and stages, and it is important to go through those so that you can have that trust and confidence.
Absolutely. And that's actually a great segue, because we are having one of our tracks in United Latinas, because we think it's critically important. It's called Building Your Wealth, which means that we are going to have workshops throughout the whole year that help people, because I know that I'm not literate from a financial perspective. There's so much to learn out there. So we're tapping into experts like Oriana and like many others that are out there, that are trusted experts, because that's the other thing. You need to like do your due diligence in terms of who you are talking to, and make sure that they are trusted experts. And we'll have Oriana kicking us off with our Builder Wealth series for this year, on a workshop starting March 1st. So that'll come up either towards the end of this week or beginning of next week. On our website, you'll be able to sign up for that, and Oriana will be able to take us more through specific steps on how to start building your wealth. And join us at United Latinas, because we'll continue to bring topics under this Building Wealth series, and you'll have a community of people that will support you, that will answer your questions, that you can be vulnerable with and say, I don't get it, I don't understand, like, how do I move from here, I'm stuck, and we'll find somebody. If we don't have the answer, we'll connect you with somebody that does that. Any final words, Oriana?
Well, to your point of finding a space like United Latina community is so important, and having these conversations and also having like that support and accountability is huge when you are going on a journey of up leveling or growing, changing things. Get that support. We really need to have these conversations and support each other, so that we can build wealth, right?
Awesome. Well, contact Oriana, reach out to her. I know that you have all of your different social media sites, your website, right? Can you repeat that for us, please?
Yeah, I will. So it's www.moneymapcoach.com, and I am on Instagram, and I'm really working on putting content out there. So go follow me and keep me accountable.
Awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by in our Cafecito break for today. Thank you, everybody who joined us, and we'll see each other next week at 1 o'clock. Remember, all Wednesdays, we have different guests on different topics coming here and just sharing their wisdom and their thoughts. Thank you so much, Oriana, for being with us today. Have a great rest of your day and rest of your week, everybody. Have a good one.